Hello. So in this chapter, we will talk about data manipulation, and I will using two weeks to discuss what is data manipulation. Okay, so data manipulation. So first thing you need to know what is SQL. So a lot of people talk about SQL. So what's the definition of the SQL? So the definition of the SQL basically stands for Structured Query Language. This is a standard language for managing and manipulation database. So what's different between database and raw data? So database is something more structured way to store the data. But the data, normally when we refer to data, is meaningless data. Okay, there's no structure. It's just the raw data provided to you. You don't know what it is. It's such as I give you 100, so you don't know what it means 100. 100 could be the money, could be ID's name, could be anything. So we need a certain structure to store the data, which is the database. So SQL allows us to create the database, allowed us to manipulate the database, such as data management. You can insert, you can update the table, insert the table, insert the line, insert the row, insert the column. You can delete them. Even you can include the complex queries, to turn raw data into useful information. Okay, so SQL is easy to use and easy to learn because they only has fewer than 100 words. Okay, that means they don't have a lot of the keyword to memorize. And more importantly, this is a non-procedural language. That means you only specify what to do, not how to do. So you don't need to specify, how you get this, the result. You only tell them, hey, get the result based on my requirement. You don't tell them, how they get the results based on your requirement. Okay, so basically there are two key functions of SQL. One is called data manipulation language. Also we call it DML. So using this language, basically we provide the command and we retrieve and manipulate the data. So the keywords such as select, insert, update, delete, we focus on the data. However, there's another key functions for SQL, which is data definition language. This is something we can define our database structures, such as you can create a table, you can alter the table, you can drop the table. Okay, so first thing we talk about is the select statement. This is core, the statements we use for our SQL. Okay, so select is the statements can help you to retrieve the data from the database. Okay, so the basic syntax is select right here, the keyword select. Then we can include the columns, the attributes name. Okay, so you can include one or more the attribute name right here. That's the reason right here we say it's a column list. Okay, so right here we have from clause. That means which table you're trying to get those data. Okay, which table? Again, right here is table list. That means you can get those data from multiple table or one table. Okay. So in the SQL, we can use the auto strict to the wildcard. So this means we're trying to select all the columns in one table or more table. Okay, so in this one, we're trying to select all the columns and the rows from the products table. Okay, some, we can specify, as we said, we can specify multiple columns. So this is one example. So if this table, the product table, we have multiple columns. So 3 columns we're trying to select, which is product code, product descriptions, product price. Okay, if we use in this way, they will display all the data, okay, from the table, products, only from these 3 columns. Okay, only these 3 columns. Another important clause is where. So where is help you to filter the row. Okay, that means you get the result already. You try to filter the record, the data from the result based on the specific conditions. Okay, so those conditions, we use those operators. You can use the equal, less, great or equal, less or equal, not, or between and, in, like, pattern. So those are some examples, I can show you. So for example, in this one, we're using the in right here, in. So in, that means you choose one of them. So in this example, we select all the data from the table property for rent, where, flat or house. Okay, so in, that means we select flat or the house. As long as they satisfy this condition, we will display all the columns. So another one, this is for not equal. So not equal. So in this one, we're trying to select the data from the staff. The condition is this name cannot be equal to the fold. Okay, then the results will filter again, then render the results to you. This is another one. We're trying to select the data from the staff, but the salary have to be between the 9,000 to 11,000. Okay, so this is using the between and. We also can do something like this using the pattern. So in this pattern, basically means we try to select the staff, okay, the table from staff, and the first name should like this pattern. This pattern means they have to start with A. The first name start with A. Then you don't care about the rest of them. Have to using the single column means this is a pattern you need to follow. So this result will display all the rows satisfied with this condition. This example. So this example, basically I'm trying to list all the staff with a salary greater than 10,000. So you can do in this way, just list all the columns you're trying to display. So such as staff number, name, first name, and last name. Then we have a salary. So this is all the columns you want to display. Or you can just using abstract. Right? So now we have a condition, salary is greater than 10,000. Once you type this code, you will get this result. Okay, you can see this result, all the salary greater than 10,000. At the same time, include all the columns right here. All right, next one, we're trying to introduce the order. So because sometimes we get a result, we want this result display in a specified order, no matter for ascending or descending. So this is syntax. So when you see brackets right here, that means it's optional. Okay, which means you don't have to using order by. Okay, it's not required. But if you trying to order the results, you need using the keyword order by. So for example, we're trying to order by the price. By the default, the order always be ascending. Okay, ascending. If you're trying to use it the descending, we're using the keyword DESC. DESC. Descending by the default is the ascending. Okay, so right here you see here is also is a bracket. That means it's optional. You don't have to put the any ascending, descending right there. By the default would be the ascending. If you don't use the order by the default would be ascending. But why do we use the order by? Because order by somehow they provide multiple level of the sorting. So that means if in this case we have, the people have same first name, same last name, or same initial name, how do we order? We need to specify them. So in this case, we have first name, last name, we order by first, then first name, order later, then initial name, we order the last one. So by the default is ascending. So ascending, you can see Johnson, 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 Smith, Smith. However, the Alice right here is also ascending. Alice, Bob, Carol, and Dave, right? But for this case, Johnson, Alice, they're same first name and last name. At this point, how we initialize, how we order them. Because we say the initial will be ordered. If they have same order, same first name and last name, we also ascending their initial, which is B and C. Now Johnson, B, then would be A. Okay, so this is the example how we do the order.